2021, our Fort families, friends, and staff. And again, thank you for participating in the commencement exercise of the 80th academic year at Fort Hamilton High School. Graduates, we celebrate because you fulfilled the requirements for a high school diploma, a minimum of 44 credits and 5 New York State Regents exams. However, we all know that fulfilling those requirements is only part of the story of your last 4 years at Fort Hamilton. Until March 2020, your high school career was, well, normal. You experienced the majority of your learning in classrooms filled with peers and teachers, passing through crowded halls, changing for PE, rushing to the library for a spot at lunch, and participating in athletic events, performances, clubs, and every other opportunity we aimed to provide, and you filled. As the final quarter of your junior year began, the global pandemic forced us all to accept loss and limits. It required us to look at safety in a new light and adapt to a new way of being in school. The restrictions on being together shaped your senior year, and expectations had to change. Even your post-secondary opportunities and the future seemed less certain. While we hope to be all together in the building again, the majority of the year was spent in remote learning. We all know that well. We were forced to compromise and adapt to things out of our control. But the platform for learning changed, but the human element remained essential. And it's the humans at Fort Hamilton that are at the heart of why a Fort Hamilton diploma is special. The committed staff bursting with expertise and care, our diverse and talented student body, along with our families and partnerships, helped us keep the momentum for a positive and productive learning environment. And whether you were blended or remote, on a 1 to 7 or 4 to 10 schedule, playing in the band, taking advanced courses, learning English as a new language, participating in athletics or JROTC, collecting food donations for local charities, or all of the above, as many of you were, you persisted and you worked to make the most of your senior year. And throughout, you maintained your purpose to earn your high school diploma and set your post-secondary plans. Special commendations to the class of 2021, the first to endure senior year in a pandemic. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'd also like to thank our Parent-Teacher Association for its contribution to our graduates. Like most things, there were limits to what the PTA could do this year, but they met and worked faithfully to secure healthy scholarships, provided 60 workshops for both parents and students, and remained invested in our school community. Thank you for supporting the class of 2021 and for working collaboratively with staff to benefit all students. In addition, I must acknowledge the Fort Hamilton staff. You've been introduced to our leadership team, and we have many other members of our staff here to celebrate with our graduates. Everyone takes pride in knowing our students and urging them to do their best with integrity and care. You are the human element that will remain with our graduates for years to come. Class of 2021, please take a moment to remember family, friends, and staff who will continue to support you just as they supported your path to graduation today. My main message today is that you find purpose that will motivate you to work hard, persist through obstacles, and drive you to continue learning. My purpose as the principal of Fort Hamilton High School is to provide a positive and productive learning experience for all members of our community. I want students in grades 9 through 12 to have many opportunities to explore, think, create, and build supportive relationships. With purpose, you are better able to find strength to achieve and contribute. However you frame your purpose, with a career, family, an artistic pursuit, serving the community, or following in the footsteps of Janet Yellen, Fort Hamilton class of 1963, who is the United States Secretary of Treasury. Concretizing your purpose will move you forward. It will also allow for constructive and fun detours along the way. Graduates, flex those muscles of adaptability that you've built up this past year in particular, and feel confident that you can learn, grow, and sustain relationships both in person and remotely. We take our purpose at Fort Hamilton seriously to prepare students for the 21st century. We work to improve opportunities and access for everyone and to nurture independent, honest, contributing citizens. Working collaboratively diminishes the burden, especially in times of crisis, and we need that collaboration to broaden our perspectives to ensure an equitable and just society. Your class participated in many efforts around this equity and social justice topic this year. Thank you. I urge you to continue being mindful of others and how much we rely and need each other. Build relationships of trust to push your thinking, clarify your purpose and ambitions, and to support you in new ventures. You are the 76th graduating class at Fort Hamilton High School. We are proud of your accomplishments and proud to have participated in guiding your paths over the last 4 years. Our expectations will remain high for the class of 2021, and we thank you for demonstrating leadership and respect. Your individuality is celebrated today along with the collective of your class. We wish you the best and welcome you back, hopefully without masks, when you return to visit. I want to close with the school's motto imprinted on the auditorium walls. Woo! Enter to grow in mind and spirit, depart to serve better your God, country, and fellow man. Class of 2021, carry on with purpose and to contribute to your community as representatives of Fort Hamilton High School. Congratulations. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce our student speaker at this ceremony, Hannah Pulley, the Senior Council President.
Good morning, faculty, family, friends, and fellow graduates. I'm honored to speak before you all today to mark this celebratory occasion, a day we've anticipated since we first set foot into Fort Hamilton High School. I come from a family that values words. We share an obsession with the New York Times daily mini crossword puzzles, and Scrabble has been a competitive sport in the Pulley family for generations. My father is the type of person whose conversational style requires me to be armed with a dictionary at all times. My mother has passed on her business savvy, showing me how to write emails with words selected to fit their intended audience. With this upbringing, it's not a surprise that I've developed a propensity to use long words. Unfortunately, this doesn't always work out in my favor. I never use a word when I don't know what it means. However, I often think I know what a word means when in fact I couldn't be any further from the truth. This predicament inevitably results in embarrassment more often than you might think. Whenever it happens, I feel myself blushing, and I'm flooded with all the memories of the conversations I'd had where I'd used the word improperly before, and yet no one decided to correct me. Most recently, this happened with the word commencement. Commencement is another name by which graduation is known. Today, we sit here at the end of our high school careers undergoing what are known as commencement activities. Therefore, you can understand my confusion when my English teacher informed me that commencement is not a word for ending, after I defined it as that to about 40 students in the AP Literature class at Fort Hamilton a few weeks ago. You see, after associating the word with graduation all my life, I naturally assumed it meant to end. After all, today is the end of an era for all of us. However, what I failed to recognize is that today feels much more like a beginning than an end. If you had the same confusion I did, commencement is in fact defined as a beginning or a start. When we walk off this field today, of course there are things that are coming to an end. We'll never take the field, the court, or the pool as Fort Hamilton Tigers again. We'll never lose our ID card and rush to the cafeteria for a new one again. We'll never wait for the bus on Shore Road again. We'll never debate whether we're on the field or Shore Road side as we head to class again. We'll never hear Miss Houlihan wish us a positive and productive day again. But with all of these endings, the most important things to focus on are the beginnings we face as we leave Fort Hamilton. As our paths diverge after today, there is more ahead of each of us than there ever was behind us. As we head off to college or career, we take with us what we learned to move on to bigger and better things. I'm proud of us for how far we've come since we started at Fort Hamilton, but I know we all have so much further to go. When I was younger, I had a poster on my wall with a quote that frequently gets stuck in my head. Like clockwork, whenever I have a big deadline or a project ahead of me, I think about it over and over again. It's like an earworm, but without the musical component. This pink poster scattered with butterflies said in large white font, "The way to begin is to begin." Now this might seem pretty obvious, but anyone who has ever procrastinated, which I assume is all of you, knows that this is harder than it sounds. In the days leading up to me finally sitting down to write this speech, Eleanor Roosevelt's words were running through my head more than ever. The way to begin is to begin. Now that we're leaving the intermediary step that high school has been for all of us, we're faced with the biggest beginning yet. We must begin our lives. Clearly, writing an outline for a lifetime is much more daunting than writing the outline for this speech. As overwhelming as it might seem, we must begin by putting the first words down on paper in the story that is our life. The way to begin is to begin. Begin with compassion. Begin with empathy. Begin with dedication. Begin with intent. Begin with the knowledge that words matter. Fort Hamilton saw us walk in as intimidated freshmen and is now seeing us walk out as bold seniors. We're emerging with goals, things we want to do and changes we want to see. We need to implement those changes and do what we know is right. Whether it be fostering unity, inventing a better future, or caring for our community, we face the world with a new sense of purpose. If living through the last year and change has taught us anything, it's that we all have the capacity to handle more than we think. With our newfound resilience and grit, we have a duty to emerge from this period stronger than before. I can't claim to know all of my fellow graduates personally, although I've committed myself to meeting many of you through my time in student government. What I can claim, however, is that we are all now linked. We're linked through our shared experience of this particularly unique set of high school years. We're linked through our memories and stories of our time at Fort Hamilton. We're linked in the skills we have gained from our education that are setting us on the path to success. Just like the words in a crossword puzzle, our paths intersect. We've helped to form one another, and we couldn't be what we are without that. At the same time, we're each distinct with different callings and purposes. Congratulations to everyone in this new beginning we're coming into as we commence the rest of our lives. When things get overwhelming, just remember, the way to begin is to begin.
Thomas Alessandri. Ashley Alicia. Aljami, Saleh Aljami. Shaya Aljami. Lola Allen. Hannah Pulley. Sibril Ari. Taylor Aviles. Alicio Baylor E. Mohsin B. Baraik. Christopher Bonilla. Mimo Bustala. Adrian Bucko. Ranel Bon. Jeremy Castillo. Jian Quen Chen. Ru Ying Chen. Maritza Chimborazo. Mary Cordero. Daisy Quatlow.
Graduates, please repeat after me. With gratitude to my school, with pride in my city, as a graduate, to cherish the traditions of Fort Hamilton High School, as a citizen, to work both alone and with many to improve my city, and as an American, to obey my country's laws and to support and defend its Constitution. Okay, now this is the moment we've all been waiting for. By the power invested in me by the New York City Department of Education, I pronounce you high school graduates. Please move your tassel from the right to the left. Enjoy and find that purpose.